In sooth, I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you. But how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff 'tis made of, whereof it is born, I am to learn. Such a want-wit sadness makes of me that I have much ado to know myself.
Your mind is tossing on the ocean where your argosy sail.
Believe me, sir, had I such venture forth, the better part of my affections would be with my hopes abroad, and every object that might make me fear misfortunes to my ventures out of doubt would make me sad.
My wind, cooling my broth, would blow me to an ague when I thought what harm a wind too great at sea might do. But not me. I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise.
Believe me, no. I thank my fortune for it. My ventures are not in one bottom trusted, nor to one place, nor is my whole estate upon the fortune of this present year. Therefore, my merchandise makes me not sad.
Oh, why then you are in love?
Fine.
Not in love neither. Then let us say you are sad because you are not merry.
Oh, here comes Bassanio, your most noble kinsman. We'll leave you now with better company.
I would have stayed till I had made you merry, if worthier friends had not prevented me.
Well, tell me now, what lady is the same to whom you swore a secret pilgrimage that you today promised to tell me of?
'Tis not unknown to you, Antonio, how much I have disabled mine estate, nor do I now make moan. But my chief care is to come fairly off from the great debts hath let me gauged. To you, Antonio, I owe the most, in money and in love. And from your love, I have a warranty to unburden all my plots and purposes, how to get clear of all the debts I owe.
I pray you, good Bassanio, let me know it. My purse and my extremest means lie all unlocked to your occasions.
I owe you much, and like a willful youth, that which I owe is lost. But if you please, to shoot another arrow that self way which you did shoot the first, I do not doubt, as I will watch the aim, to find both, or bring your latter hazard back again, and thankfully rest debtor for the first.
And out of doubt you do me now more wrong to make question of my uttermost than if you had made waste to all I have. Then do but say to me what I should do, and I am pressed unto it. Therefore speak.
In Belmont is a lady richly left. Oh, and she is fair, and fairer than that word of wondrous virtues. Her name is Portia. Nor is the wide world ignorant of her worth, for the four winds blow in from every coast renowned suitors, come in quest of her. Oh, my Antonio, had I but the means to hold a rival place with one of them, I have a mind presages me such thrift that I should questionless be fortunate.
Thou knowest that all my fortunes are at sea, neither have I money nor commodity to raise a present sum. Therefore, go forth, try what my credit can in Venice do to furnish thee to Belmont, to fair Portia. Go presently inquire, and so will I, where money is, and I no question make to have it of my trust and for my sake.
I am my troth, Nerissa. My little body is a-weary of this great world.
You would be, sweet madam, if your miseries were in the same abundance as your good fortunes are. And yet, for aught I see, they are as sick that surfeit with too much as they that starve with nothing. It is no mean happiness, therefore, to be seated in the mean.
Good sentences and well pronounced.
They would be better if well followed.
If to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches and poor men's cottages princes' palaces. I can easier teach 20 what were good to be done than be one of 20 to follow mine own teaching. The brain may devise laws for the blood, but the hot temper leaps o'er a cold decree. But this reasoning is not in the fashion to choose me a husband. Oh me, the word choose. I may neither choose whom I would refuse, nor who I would dislike.
Your father was ever virtuous, and holy men at their death have good inspirations. Therefore the lottery that he hath devised in these 3 chests of gold, silver, and lead, whereof who chooses his meaning chooses you, will no doubt never be chosen by any rightly, but one who shall rightly love. But what warmth is in your affection towards any of these princely suitors that are already come?
I pray thee, name them and describe them according to my affection.
First, there is the Neapolitan prince.
Aye, that's a cult indeed, for he doth nothing talk of his horse. I am afeard his mother played false with a smith.
Then there is the County Palatine.
Ah, he doth nothing but frown. He hears merry tales and smiles not. I'd rather be married to a dead's head with a bone in his mouth than either of these. God defend me of these two.
Well, how say you then of the French Lord Monsieur Le Bon?
Oh, God made him, therefore let him pass for a man. In truth, I know it is a sin to be a mocker, but he hath a horse better than the Neapolitans, a better bad habit of frowning than Count of Palatine. He is every man in no man. If he would despise me, I would forgive him, for if he would love me to madness, I should never requite him.
What say you then of the young Baron of England?
You know I say nothing to him, for he understands me not, nor I him. He hath neither Latin, French, nor Italian. He's a proper man's picture, but alas, who can converse with a dumb show? And how oddly is he suited? I think he bought his doublet in Italy, his round hose in France, and his bonnet in Germany, and his behavior everywhere.
How like you the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew?
Very vilely in the morning when he is sober, and most vilely in the afternoon when he's drunk.
If you should choose the right casket, you should refuse to perform your father's will if you should refuse to accept him.
Therefore, for fear of the worst, I pray thee, set a deep glass of Rhenish wine on the contrary casket. For if the devil be within and that temptation without, I know he I will do anything, Nerissa, ere I be married to a sponge.
You need not fear, lady, the having any of these lords. They have acquainted me with their determinations, which, indeed, is to return home and to trouble you with no more suit.
I'm glad this parcel of wooers are so reasonable, for there is not one among them but I dote on his very absence, and I pray God grant them a fair departure.
Do you remember, lady, in your father's time, a Venetian, a scholar and a soldier that came hither in the company of the Marquis of Montferrat?
Yes, it was Bassanio, as I think he was so called.
True, madam. He of all the men that ever my foolish eyes looked upon was the best deserving of a fair lady.
I remember him well, and I remember him worthy of thy praise.
The four strangers seek for you, madam, to take their leave, and there is a forerunner come from a fifth, the Prince of Morocco, who brings word the prince his master will be here tonight.
If I could bid the fifth welcome with so good a heart as I could bid the other four farewell, I should be glad of his approach. Come, Nerissa. Sirrah, go before. Whilst we shut the gates upon the wooer, another knocks on the door.
3,000 ducats. Well.
Aye, sir. For 3 months.
For 3 months. Well.
For the which, as I told you, Antonio shall be bound.
Antonio shall become bound. Well.
Well, may you stead me.
3,000 ducats for 3 months, and Antonio bound.
Your answer to that?
Antonio's a good man.
Have you heard any imputation to the contrary?
Oh, no. He's sufficient. Yet his means are in supposition. He hath an argosy bound to Tripoli, another to the Indies. I understand, moreover, upon the Rialto, he hath a third at Mexico, a fourth for England, and other ventures he hath squandered abroad. But ships are boards, sailors but men. There be land rats and water thieves and land thieves. I mean pirates. And then there is the peril of waters, winds, and rocks. The man is, notwithstanding, sufficient. 3,000 ducats, I think I may take his part.
Oh, be assured you may.
I will be assured I may. May I speak with Antonio?
If it please you to dine with us.
I will buy with you, sell with you, talk with you, walk with you, and so following. but will not eat with you, drink with you, nor pray with you.
Oh, this is Signor Antonio.
I hate him, for he is a Christian. But more for that and low simplicity, he lends out money gratis and brings down the rate of usance here with us in Venice. He hates our sacred nation, and he rails even there where merchants most do congregate on me, my bargains, and my well-worn thrift, which he calls interest. Cursed be my tribe if I forgive him.
Shylock, do you hear?
I am debating of my present store, and by the near guess of my memory, I cannot instantly raise up the gross of full 3,000 ducats. What of that? Tubal, a wealthy Hebrew of my tribe, will furnish me. But soft, how many months?
Shylock, although I neither lend nor borrow by taking nor by giving of excess, yet to supply the right wants of my friend, I'll break a custom. Is he yet possessed how much he would?
Aye, 3,000 ducats.
And for 3 months?
I had forgot. 3 months, you told me so. Well, then you're bound. And let me see, but methought you said you neither lend nor borrow upon advantage.
I do never use it.
When Jacob grazed his uncle Laban's sheep.
And what of him? Did he take interest?
No, not take interest. Not, as you would say, directly interest. Mark what Jacob did. When Laban and himself were compromised that all the eanlings should fall as Jacob's hire, the ewes being rank turned to the rams. And when the work of generation was between these woolly breeders in the act, and in the doing of the deed of kind, did the fulsome ewes who then conceiving fall party-colored lambs, and those were Jacob's. This was a way to thrive, and he was blessed, and thrift is a blessing if men steal it not.
This is a venture, sir, that Jacob served for. A thing not in his power to bring to pass, but swayed and fashioned by the hand of heaven. Was this inserted to make interest good? Or is your gold and silver ewes and rams?
I cannot tell. I make it breed as fast. But note me, senor.
Mark you this, Bassanio, the devil can cite scripture for his purpose. A goodly apple rotten at his heart. Oh, what a goodly outside falsehood hath.
3,000 ducats. 'Tis a good round sum. 3 months from 12, then let me see the rate.
Well, Shylock, shall we be beholding to you?
Signor Antonio, many a time and oft in the Rialto have you rated me about my monies and my usances. Still have I borne it with a patient shrug, for sufferance is the badge of all our tribe. You call me misbeliever, cutthroat dog, and spit upon my Jewish gabardine, and all for use of that which is mine own. Well, then, it now appears you need my help. Go to then. You come to me and you say, Shylock, we would have money. You say so. You that did void your room upon my beard and foot me as you spurn a stranger cur. What should I say to you? Should I not say, hath a dog money? Is it possible a cur can lend 3,000 ducats? Or shall I bend low and whispering humbleness say this, fair sir, you spit on me on Wednesday last, you spurned me such a day, another time you called me dog, and for these courtesies I lend you thus much money.
I am as like to call thee so again, to spit on thee again, and spurn thee too. If thou wilt lend this money, lend it not as to thy friends, but to thine enemy, who, if he break, thou mayest with better face exact the penalty.
Why, look you how you storm. I would be friends with you and have your love. Forget the shames that you have stained me with. Supply your present wants, and take no doit of usance for my monies, and you'll not hear me. This is kind I offer.
This were kindness.
This kindness will I show. Go with me to a notary, seal me there your single bond, and in a merry sport, If you repay me not on such a day, in such a place, such sum or sums as are expressed in the condition, let the forfeit be nominated for an equal pound of your fair flesh, to be cut off and taken in what part of your body pleaseth me.
Content if I'll seal to such a bond and say there is much kindness in a Jew.
You shall not seal to such a bond for me. I'll rather dwell in my necessity.
Well, fear not, man. I will not forfeit it. Within these 3 months, I do expect return of thrice 3 times the value of this bond.
Oh, Father Abram, what these Christians are, whose own hard dealings teaches them suspect the thoughts of others. Pray you, tell me this. If he should break his day, what should I gain by the exaction of the forfeiture? A pound of man's flesh taken from a man is not so estimable, profitable neither. To buy his favor, I extend this friendship. If he will take it, so. If not, adieu. And for my love, I pray you wrong me not.
Yes, Shylock, I will seal unto this bond.
Then meet me forthwith at the notary's. I'll purse the ducats straight, and presently I will be with you.
Hi thee, gentle Jew. The Hebrew will turn Christian, he grows kind.
I like not fair terms and a villain's mind.
Oh, come on, in this there can be no dismay. My ships come home a month before the day.
Mislike me not for my complexion, the shadowed livery of the banished son to whom I am neighbor and near bred. Bring me the fairest creature born, where Phoebus' fire scarce thaws the icicles and makes incision for your love, to prove whose blood is reddest, his or mine. I tell thee, lady, this aspect of mine hath feared the valiant. By my love I swear the best regarded virgins of our clime have loved it too. I would not change this hue except to steal your thoughts, my gentle queen.
In terms of choice, I'm not solely led by nice direction of a maiden's eyes. Besides, the lottery of my destiny bars me the right of voluntary choosing. But if my father had not scanted me and hedged me by his wit to yield myself his wife, who wins me by the means I told you, yourself, renowned prince, then stood as fair as any other comer I've looked on yet for my affection.
Even for that, I thank you. Therefore, I pray you lead me to the caskets to try my fortune. By my scimitar that slew the Sophie and the Persian prince, I would outstare the sternest eyes that look, outbrave the heart most daring on earth, pluck the young suckling cubs from the she-bear, yea, mock the lion when he roars to prey, to win thee, lady. But alas, the while, if Hercules and Lycus play at dice, which is better man? The greater may throw, turn by fortune from the weaker hand. So is Acides beaten by his page, and so may I blind fortune leading me. Miss that one which unworthier may attain and die with grieving.
You must take your chance and either not attempt to choose at all, or swear before you choose. If you choose wrong, never to speak to lady afterward in way of marriage. Therefore be advised.
No, will not. Come, bring me unto my chance.
Certainly my conscience will serve me to run from this Jew, my master. The fiend is at mine elbow and tempts me, saying, Gobbo, Launcelot Gobbo, good Launcelot, or good Gobbo, or good Launcelot Gobbo. Use your legs, take the start, run away. My conscience says, no. Take heed, honest Launcelot, do not run. Huh. The most courageous fiend bids me back. Away, says the fiend, for the heavens, rouse up a brave mind and run. Well, my conscience says very wisely to me, my honest friend Launcelot, being an honest man's son, or rather an honest woman's son, for indeed my father did something smack. Well, my conscience says, Launcelot, no. To be is a kind of fiend who Jew is the very devil incarnal, and my conscience is but a hard conscience to counsel me to stay with the Jew. The fiend gives the more friendly counsel. I will run, fiend. My heels are at your command. Oh, rare fortune, here comes one Master Bassanio. If I
Gramercy, wouldst thou aught with me?
Sir, poor boy. Not a poor boy, sir, but the rich Jew's man. I have a great infection, sir, as one would say, to serve. Indeed, the short and long is, I serve the Jew and have a desire to be brief. The very truth is that the Jew, having done me wrong, in very brief, the suit is impertinent to myself.
What would you?
Serve you, sir. That is the very defect of the matter, sir.
I know thee well. Oh, thou hast obtained thy suit. Shylock, thy master, spoke with me today, and hath preferred thee, if it be preferment, to leave a rich Jew's service, to become the follower of so poor a gentleman. Take leave of thy old master, and inquire my lodging out.
Well, if fortune be a woman, she's a good wench for this year. I'll take my leave of the Jew in the twinkling of an eye.
Senor Bassanio, I have a suit to you.
Oh, you have obtained it.
You must not deny me. I must go with you to Belmont.
Why then, you must. But hear me, Gratiano. Thou art too wild, too rude and bold of voice, parts that become thee happily enough, but in such eyes as ours appear not faults. But where thou art not known, why there they show something too liberal. Pray thee, allay thy skipping spirit, lest through thy wild behavior I be misconstrued in the place I go, and lose my hopes.
Senor Bassanio, hear me. If I do not put on a sober habit, talk with respect and swear, but now and then, wear prayer books in my pocket, look demurely, name more, hood mine eyes, and sigh and say amen. Use all the observance of civility like one well studied in a sad ostent to please his grandam. Never trust me more.
Well, we shall see your bearing.
Oh, nay, but I bar tonight. You shall not gauge me by what we do tonight.
Oh, no, that were a pity, for we have friends that purpose merriment. But fare you well, I have some business.
I must tell Lorenzo and the rest, but we will visit you at supper time.
I am sorry thou wilt leave my father so. Our house is hell, and thou, a merry devil, didst rob it of some taste of tediousness. But fare thee well. There is a ducat for thee. And Launcelot, soon at supper shalt thou see Lorenzo, who is thy new master's guest. Give him this letter. Do it secretly, and so farewell. I would not have my father see me and talk with thee.
Adieu. These foolish drop to do something drown my manly spirit. Adieu.
Farewell, good Launcelot. Alack, what heinous sin is it in me to be ashamed to be my father's child? But though I am a daughter of his blood, I am not to his manners. Oh, Lorenzo, if thou keep promise, I shall end this strife, become a Christian, and thy loving wife.
Nay, we will slink away in supper time, disguise us at my lodging, and return all in an hour.
We have not made good preparation.
'Tis vile unless it be quaintly ordered, and better in my mind not undertook.
'Tis now but 4 o'clock. We have 2 hours to furnish us. Friend Launcelot, what is the news?
And it shall please you to break up this, it shall seem to signify.
I know the hand. In fate, 'tis a fair hand.
Love news. And
by your leave, sir.
Whither goest thou?
Marry, sir, to bid my old master the Jew to sup tonight with my new master the Christian.
Hold here, take this. Tell gentle Jessica I will not fail her. Speak it privately. Go, gentlemen, will you prepare for this mask tonight?
I, Mary, I'll be gone about it straight.
And so will I.
Was not that letter from fair Jessica?
I must needs tell thee all. She hath directed how I shall take her from her father's house, what gold and jewels she is furnished with, what pages suit she hath in readiness. Oh, if e'er the Jew her father come to heaven, it will be for his gentle daughter's sake.
Well, thou shalt see. Thy eyes shall be thy judge, the difference of old Shylock and Bassanio. What, Jessica? Thou shalt not gourmandize as thou hast done. What, Jessica? And sleep and snore and rend the parallel. What, Jessica, I say?
Why, Jessica?
Who bids thee call? I did not bid thee call.
Oh, you? What's your will?
I am bid forth to supper, Jessica. There are my keys. But wherefore should I go? I am not bid for love. They flatter me. But yet I'll go in hate. Jessica, my girl, look to my house. I'm right loath to go.
I beseech you, sir, go. My young master doth expect your reproach.
Yeah. So do I his.
And they have conspired together. I will not say you shall see a mask, but if you do...
What? Are there masks? Hear me, Jessica. Lock up my doors, and when you hear the drum clamber, not you up to the casements then, nor thrust your head into the public street to gaze on Christian fools with varnished faces. Let not the sound of shallow foppery enter my sober house. By Jacob's staff, I swear, I have no mind of feasting forth tonight, but I will go. Go you before me, sirrah, say I will come.
I will go before, sir. Mistress, look out at window. For all this, there will come a Christian by. Will be worth a Jewess's eye.
What says that fool, huh?
His words were farewell, mistress. Nothing else.
The patch is kind enough, but a huge feeder, snail slow in profit, and he sleeps by day more than the cat. Therefore I part with him to one that would have him help to waste his borrowed purse. Well, Jessica, go in. Perhaps I will return immediately. Do as I bid you. Shut doors after you. Fast bind, fast find. A proverb never stale in thrifty mind.
Farewell. And if my fortune be not crossed, I have a father, you have a daughter lost.
This is the penthouse under which Lorenzo desired us to make stand.
His hour is almost past.
It is marvel he outdwells his hour, for lovers ever run before the clock.
Oh, 10 times faster to seal love's bonds new made than keep obliged faith unforfeited.
That ever holds. Who riseth from a feast with that keen appetite that he sits down? All things that are with more spirit chased than enjoyed.
Here comes Lorenzo, more of this hereafter.
Sweet friends! Oh, your patience for my long abode, not I, but my affairs have made you wait. When you shall please to play the thieves for wives, I'll watch as long for you then. Approach. Here dwells my father Jew. Ho! Who's within?
Who are you? Tell me more certainly, albeit I'll swear that I do know your tongue.
Lorenzo, and thy love.
Lorenzo, certain? My love indeed? For whom I love so much. And now who knows but you, Lorenzo, whether I am yours?
Heaven and thy thoughts are witness that thou art.
Here, catch this casket. It's worth the pains. I am glad tonight you do not look on me, for I am so much ashamed of my exchange. But love is blind, and lovers cannot see the pretty follies that themselves commit. For if they could, Cupid himself would blush to see me thus transformed to a boy.
Descend, for you must be my torchbearer.
What, must I hold a candle to my shames? Why, 'tis an office of discovery, love, and I should be obscured.
So are you, sweet, even in the lovely garnish of a boy. Come at once, for the close night doth play the runaway, and we are stayed for at Bassanio's feast.
I will make fast the doors and gild myself with more ducats and be with you straight.
Not by my hood, a Gentile and no Jew.
Beshrew me, but I love her heartily. For she is wise, if I can judge of her, and fair she is, if that mine eyes be true, and true she is, as she hath proved herself. And therefore, like herself, wise, fair, and true shall she be placed in my constant soul. What? Art thou come? Ah, on, gentlemen, away. Our masking mates by this time for us stay.
Who's there?
Signor Antonio.
Fie, Gratiano. Where are all the rest? 'Tis 9 o'clock. Our friends will stay for you. No mask tonight. The wind is come about. Bassanio presently will go aboard.
I'm glad on it. I desire no more delight than to be under sail and gone tonight.
Oh, draw aside the curtains and discover the several caskets to this noble prince. One of them contains my picture, prince. If you choose that, then I am yours withal.
Some God direct my judgment. Let me see. What says this leaden casket? Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. Must give? For what? For lead? Hazard for lead? This casket threatens. Men that hazard all do it in hope of fair advantages. I'll then not give nor hazard aught for lead. What says the silver with a virgin hue? Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. As much as he deserves. Pause there, Morocco, and weigh thy value with an even hand. If thou beest rated by thy estimation, thou dost deserve enough. And yet enough may not extend so far as the lady. And yet to be afeard of my deserving were but a weak disabling of myself as much as I deserve. Why, that's the lady. I do in birth deserve her. In fortunes, but more than these in love I do deserve. What if I strayed no further but chose here? Let me see once more this saying engraved in gold. Ooh, who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. Why, that's the lady. All the world desires her. From the four corners of the earth they come to kiss this shrine, this mortal breathing saint. Deliver me the key. Here do I choose.
There, take it, prince. And if my form lie there, then I'm yours.
Ah! Oh, hell! What have we here? A carrion death whose empty eye there is written a scroll. I'll read the writing. All that glitters is not gold. Often you have heard that told. Many a man his life has sold, but my outside to behold. Gilded tombs do worms enfold. Fare you well, your suit is cold. Cold indeed, and labor lost. Then farewell heat, and welcome frost. Portia, adieu. I have grieved a heart to take a tedious leave. Thus losers part.
A gentle riddance. Draw the curtains, go. Let all of his complexion choose me so.
Why, man, I saw Bassanio under sail. With him is Gratiano gone along, and in their ship I am sure Lorenzo is not.
The villain Jew with outcries raised the Duke who went with him to search Bassanio's ship.
Oh, you came too late. The ship was under sail, but there the Duke was given to understand that in a gondola were seen together Lorenzo and his amorous Jessica.
I never heard a passion so confused, so strange, outrageous, and so variable as the dog Jew did utter in the streets. Oh, my daughter and my ducats! Oh, my daughter! Oh, fled with a Christian! Oh, my Christian ducats! Justice, the law, my ducats, and my daughter! A sealed bag, oh, 2 sealed bags of ducats! Oh, double ducats! Stolen from me by my daughter, and jewels, 2 stones, 2 rich and precious stones! Stolen by my daughter, justice! Find the girl! She hath stones upon her, and my ducats!
Why, all the boys in Venice follow him, crying, his stones, his daughter, and his rockets.
Let good Antonio look he keep his day, or he shall pay for this.
Oh, Mary, well remembered. In the narrow seas that part, the French and English there miscarried, a vessel of our country richly fraught.
You were best to tell Antonio what you hear, yet do it not suddenly, for it may grieve him.
Kinder gentleman treads not the earth. I saw Bassanio and Antonio apart. Bassanio told him he would make some speed of his return. He answered, do not so, but stay the very ripening of the time. Be merry and employ your chiefest thoughts. Courtship and such fair ostents of love as shall conveniently become you there. And even there, his eyes being big with tears, turning his face, he put his hands behind him, and with affection wondrous sensible, he wrung Bassanio's hand, and so they parted.
I think he only loves the world for him.
Behold, there stand the caskets, noble prince. If you choose that wherein I'm contained, straight shall our nuptial rites be solemnized. But if you fail without more speech, my lord, you must be gone from hence immediately.
So I have addressed me. Fortune out of my heart's hope. Gold, silver, and base lead. Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. You shall look fair, ere I give or hazard. What says the golden chest? Let me see. Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. What many men desire. That many may be meant by the full multitude that choose by show, not learning more than the fond eye doth teach. I will not choose what many men desire, because I will not jump with common spirits and rank me with the barbarous multitudes. Why then to thee, thou silver treasure house, tell me once more, what title dost thou bear? Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. Well said, too. And for who shall go about to cousin fortune and be honorable without the stamp of merit, huh? Let none presume to wear an undeserved dignity. Oh, that estates, degrees, and offices were purchased by the merit of the wearer. How much low peasantry would then be gleaned from the true seat of honor? Well, to my choice, who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. I will assume desert. Give me a key for this, instantly unlock my fortunes here.
Too long a pause for that which you find there.
What is here? A portrait of a blinking idiot? How much unlike art thou to Portia? How much unlike my hopes and my deservings? Who chooseth me shall have as much as he deserves. Did I deserve no more than a fool's head? Is that my prize? Are my deserts no better?
To offend and judge are distinct offices and of opposed natures.
What is here? All right, some there be that shadows kiss, such have but a shadow's bliss. There be fools alive, I wis, silvered o'er, and so is this. Take what wife you will to bed, I will ever be your head. So be gone, you are sped. Well, still more fool I shall appear by the time I linger here. With one fool said I came to woo, but I go away with two. Sweet adieu, I will keep my oath, patiently to bear my robe.
Ooh, thus hath the candle singed the moth. These deliberate fools, when they do choose, they have the wisdom by their wit to lose.
Ancient saying is no heresy. Hanging and wiving goes by destiny.
Madam, there is alighted at your gate a young Venetian, one that comes before to signify the approaching of his lord, from whom he bringeth sensible regrets, gifts of rich value. Yet I have not seen so likely an ambassador of love.
Come, Nerissa, for I long to see quick Cupid's post that comes so mannerly.
Bassanio, Lord Love, if thy will it be.
Now, what news on the Rialto?
Why, yet it lives there unchecked, that Antonio hath a ship wrecked on the narrow seas.
But it is true that the good Antonio, the honest Antonio, that I had a title good enough to keep his name company.
The full stop.
Why, the end is, he hath lost a ship.
I would it might prove the end of his losses.
Let me say, amen betimes, lest the devil cross my prayer. For here he comes in the likeness of a Jew. How now, Shylock? What's the news among the merchants?
You knew none so well as you of my daughter's flight.
That's certain.
She's damned for it.
That's certain, if the devil may be her judge.
My own flesh and blood to rebel.
There is more difference between thy flesh and hers than between jet and ivory. More between your bloods than there is between red wine and Rhenish. But tell us, do you hear whether Antonio have had any loss at sea or no?
There I have another bad match. A bankrupt who dare scarce show his head on the Rialto, a beggar that was used to come so smug upon the mark. Let him look to his bond. He was wont to call me usurer. Let him look to his bond. He was wont to lend money for a Christian courtesy. Let him look to his bond.
Why, I am sure if he forfeit, thou wilt not take his flesh. What's that good for?
To bait fish withal. If it will feed nothing else, it will feed my revenge. He hath disgraced me and hindered me 500,000, laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, cooled my friends, heated my enemies. And what's his reason? I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions? Fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you in the rest, we will resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humility? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be? By Christian example, why, revenge. The villainy you teach me, I will execute.
Here comes another of the tribe. A third cannot be matched unless the devil himself turned Jew.
How now, Tubal, what news from Genoa? Hast thou found my daughter?
I often came where I did hear of her, but cannot find her.
Why, there. A diamond gone cost me 2,000 ducats in Frankfurt. The curse never fell on our nation till now. I never felt it till now. 2,000 ducats in that, and other precious jewels. I would my daughter were dead at my foot and the jewels in her ear. No news of them? Why so? And I know not what's spent in the search. Why, loss upon loss. The thief gone with so much, and so much to find the thief. And no satisfaction, no revenge, no ill luck stirring, but what lights on my shoulders. No sighs, but of my breathing, no tears, but of my shedding.
Yes, other men have ill luck too. Antonio, as I heard in Genoa.
What? Ill luck? Ill luck?
Antonio hath an argosy cast away coming from Tripoli.
I thank God. It's true? It's true?
I spoke with some of the sailors that escaped the wreck.
Oh, I thank thee, good Tubal. Good news. Where? In Genoa?
Your daughter spent in Genoa, as I heard, in one night 4 ducats.
Thou sticks the dagger in me. I shall never see my gold again. 4 ducats at a sitting? 4 ducats?
There came Antonio's creditors to Venice that swear he cannot choose but break.
Oh, I'm very glad of it. I'll plague him. I'll torture him. I'm glad of it.
One of them showed me a ring that he had of your daughter for a monkey.
Out upon her! Thou torturest me.
No.
Tubal, it was my turquoise. I had it of Leia when I was a bachelor. I would not have given it for a wilderness of monkeys.
But Antonio is certainly undone.
No, that's true. That's very true. I will have the heart of him if he forfeit. For were he out of Venice, I can make what merchandise I will. Go, Tubal, and meet me at our synagogue. Go, good Tubal, at our synagogue, Tubal.
Pray you tarry. Pause a day or two before you hazard, for in choosing wrong I lose your company. Therefore, forbear a while. I would detain you here some month or two before you venture for me. I could teach you how to choose right, but then I am forsworn. So will I never be. So you may miss me, but if you do, you'll make me wish a sin that I had been forsworn. Ugh, beshrew your eyes, they have o'erlooked me and divided me. One half of me is yours, and the other half yours. Mine own, I would say, but if mine, then yours. And so all yours. These naughty times put bars between their owners and their rights. And so, though, yours, not yours. Prove it so. Let fortune go to hell for it, not I. I speak too long. But 'tis to pise the time to eke it and draw it out in length to stay you from election.
Let me choose, for as I am, I live upon the rack.
Upon the rack, Bassanio. Then confess, what treason is there mingled with your love?
None but the ugly treason of mistrust, which makes me fear the enjoying of my love. There may as well be amity between snow and fire as treason and my love.
Aye, but I fear you speak upon the rack where men in force do speak anything.
Promise me life, and I'll confess the truth.
Well then, confess and live.
Confess and love had been the very sum of my confession. Oh, happy torment, when my torturer doth teach me answers for deliverance. But let me to my fortune and the caskets.
Away then, I am locked in one of them. If you do love me, you will find me out. Nerissa and the rest stand aloof. Let music sound while he doth make his choice. Tell me, where is fancy bred? Or in the heart or in the head? How begot, how nourished? Reply, reply. Is it engendered in the eyes? With gazing fed and fancy dies in the cradle where it lies. Let us all ring fancy's knell. I'll begin it. Ding dong, bell.
So may the outward shows be least themselves. The world is still deceived with ornament. Thus ornament is but the guiled shore to a most dangerous sea. In a word, the seeming truth which cunning times put on to entrap the wisest. Therefore, thou, gaudy gold, hard food from Midas, I will none of thee. Nor none of thee, thou pale and common drudge between man and man. But thou meager lead, which rather threatens than doth promise aught, thy paleness moves me more than eloquence. Here choose I, joy be the consequence.
Oh, love, be moderate and allay thy ecstasy. In measure reign thy joy, scant this excess. I feel too much thy blessing. Make it less, for I fear I surfeit.
What find I here? Fair Portia's counterfeit. What demigod hath come so near creation? Oh, here's the scroll, the continent and summary of my fortune. You that choose not by the view, chance as fair and choose as true. Since this fortune falls to you, be content and seek no new. If you be well pleased with this, and hold your fortune for your bliss, turn you where your lady is, and claim her with a loving kiss. A gentle scroll, fair lady. By your leave, I come by note to give and to receive. So stand I doubtful whether what I see be true until confirmed, signed, ratified by you.
You see me, Lord Bassanio, where I stand such as I am. But for myself alone, I would not be ambitious in my wish to wish myself much better. Yet for you, I would be trebled 20 times myself, 1,000 times more fair, 10,000 times more rich, only to stand high in your account. But the full sum of me is an unlessoned girl, unschooled, unpracticed, happy in this. She is not yet so old, but she may learn. Happier than this, she is not bred so dull, but she can learn. Happiest of all is that her gentle spirit commits itself to yours to be directed. Myself and what is mine to you and yours is now converted. But now I was the lord of this fair mansion, master of my servants, queen or myself, and even now. But now, this house, these servants, and this same myself are yours, my lord. I give them with this ring, which when you part from, lose, or give away, let it presage the ruin of your love, and be my vantage to exclaim on you.
Madam, you have bereft me of all words. When this ring parts from this finger, then parts life from hence.
My lord and lady, it is now our time that have stood by and seen our wishes prosper to cry, good joy! Good joy, my lord and lady.
My lord Bassanio and my gentle lady, I wish you all the joy that you can wish. And when your honor is made to solemnize the bargain of your faith, I do beseech you, even at that time, I may be married too.
With all my heart, so thou canst get a wife.
I thank your lordship, you've got me one. My eyes, my lord, can look as swift as yours. You saw the mistress, I beheld the maid. You loved, I loved, for intermission no more pertains to me, my lord, than you. Your fortune stood upon the casket there, and so did mine too, as the matter falls. For wooing here until I sweat again, and swearing until my very roof was dry, with oaths of love, at last, if promise last, I got a promise of this fair one here to have her love, provided that your fortune achieved her mistress.
Is this true, Nerissa?
Madam, it is. So you stand pleased with all.
And do you, Gratiano, mean good faith?
Yes, faith, my lord.
Oh, our feast shall much be honored in your marriage. Lorenzo and Salerio, oh, welcome hither. If that the youth of my new interest here have power to bid you welcome, by your leave, sweet Portia.
Oh, they are entirely welcome.
I thank your honor. For my part, my lord, my purpose was not to have seen you here, but meeting with Salerio. By the way, he did entreat me past all saying nay to come with him along.
I did, my lord, and I have reason for it. Signor Antonio commends him to you.
Oh. Ere I ope his letter, I pray you, tell me how my good friend doth.
Not sick, my lord, unless it be in mind, nor well, unless in mind. His letter there will show you his estate.
Nerissa, cheer yon stranger, bid her welcome. Your hand, Salerio, what's the news from Venice? Antonio will be glad of our success. We are the Jasons. We won the fleece.
There are some shrewd contents in yon some paper that steals the color from Bassanio's cheek. With leave, Bassanio, I am half yourself, and I must freely have the half of anything that this same paper brings you.
Sweet Portia, here are a few of the unpleasantest words that ever blotted paper. Gentle lady, when I did first impart my love to you, I freely told you all the wealth I had ran in my veins. I was a gentleman. And then I told you true. And yet, dear lady, rating myself at nothing, you shall see how much I was a braggart. When I told you my estate was nothing, I should then have told you that I was worse than nothing. For indeed I have engaged myself to a dear friend, engaged my friend to his mere enemy to feed my means. But is it true, Salerio, hath all his ventures failed?
Indeed, my lord. Besides, it should appear that if he had the present money to discharge the Jew, he would not take it. 20 merchants and the Duke have all persuaded with him, but none can drive him from the envious plea of forfeiture of justice and his bond.
When I was with him, I have heard him swear that he would rather have Antonio's flesh than 20 times the value of the sum that he did owe him. And I know, my lord, if law, authority, and power deny not, it will go hard with poor Antonio.
Is it your dear friend that is thus in trouble?
The dearest friend to me, the kindest man, the best conditioned and unwearied spirit of any that draws breath in Italy.
What sum owes he the Jew?
For me, 3,000 ducats.
What, no more? Pay him 6,000 and deface the bond. Double 6,000 and then triple that before a friend of this description shall lose a hair through Bassanio's fault. First go with me to church and call me wife. Then away to Venice to your friend. For never shall you lie by Portia's side with an unquiet soul. When it is paid, bring your true friend along. Come away, for you shall first hence on your wedding day.
Jailer, look to him. Tell not me of mercy. This is the fool that lent out money gratis. Jailer, look to him.
Hear me yet, good Shylock.
I'll have my bond. Speak not against my bond. I've sworn an oath that I will have my bond. Thou calledst me dog before thou hadst a cause. But since I am a dog, beware my fangs.
I pray thee, hear me speak.
I'll have my bond. I will not hear thee speak. I'll have my bond, and therefore speak no more. I'll not be made a soft and dull-eyed fool to shake the head, relent and sigh and yield to Christian intercessors. Follow not. I'll have no speaking. I will have my bond.
It is the most impenetrable cur that ever kept with man.
Let him alone. I'll follow him no more with bootless prayers. He seeks my life. His reason well I know.
The Duke will never grant this forfeit hold.
The Duke cannot deny the course of law. Well, jailer on. Pray God Bassanio come to see me pay his debt, and then I care not.
Madam, although I speak it in your presence, you have a noble and true conceit of godlike amity, which appears most strongly in bearing thus the absence of your lord. But if you knew to whom you show this honor, how true a gentleman you send relief, how dear a lover of my lord your husband, I know you would be prouder of the work than customary bounty can enforce you.
I never did repent for doing good, nor shall not now. This Antonio, being the bosom lover of my lord, must needs be like my lord. If it be so, how little is the cost I have bestowed in purchasing the semblance of my soul from out the state of hellish misery. Lorenzo, I commit into your hands the husbandry and manage of my house until my lord's return. For mine own part, I have toward heaven breathed a secret vow to live in prayer and contemplation, only attended by Nerissa here until her husband and my lord's return. There is a monastery 2 miles off, and there we will abide. I do desire you not deny this imposition, the which my love and some necessity now lays upon you.
Madam, with all my heart.
I wish your ladyship all heart's content.
I thank you for your wish, and I am well pleased to wish it back onto you. Fare you well, Jessica. Come on, Nerissa. I have work in hand that you yet know not of. We will see our husbands before they see us.
Shall they see us?
They shall, Nerissa, but I'll hold any wager when we are both accoutred like young men, I'll prove the prettier of the two.
Why shall we turn to men?
I'll tell thee my device and haste away, for we must measure 20 miles today.
Yes, truly, for look you, the sins of the father are to be laid upon the children. Therefore, I promise you, I fear you. I was always playing with you, and so now I speak my agitation of the matter. Therefore, be of good cheer, for truly, I think you are damned. There's but one hope in it that can do you any good.
And what hope is that, I pray thee?
Mary, you may partly hope that your father got you not, that you are not the Jew's daughter.
A kind of bastard hope indeed. So the sins of my mother should be visited upon me.
And I fear you are damned both by mother and father. Well,
You're gone both ways.
I shall be saved by my husband. He hath made me a Christian.
Truly, the more to blame he. This making Christians will raise the price of hogs.
I shall grow jealous of you shortly, Launcelot, if you thus get my wife into corners.
You not need fear us, Lorenzo. Lancelot and I are out.
Oh, go in, Sarah. Bid them prepare for dinner.
That is done, sir. They all have stomachs.
How every fool can play upon the word. Then bid them to prepare dinner. How cheers thou, Jessica? Say, good sweet, how dost thou like Lord Bassanio's wife?
Past all expressing. Lord Bassanio, having such a blessing in his lady, he finds the joys of heaven here on earth.
Oh, even such a husband hast thou of me, as she is for a wife.
Nay, but ask my opinion too of that.
We'll ask anon. First, let us go to dinner.
Nay, let me praise you while I have a stomach.
No, pray thee, let it serve for table talk. Then howsoever thou speaks amongst other things, I shall digest it.
Well, I'll set you forth.
Call the Jew to court. Shylock, the world thinks, and I think so too, that thou but leadest this fashion of thy malice to the last hour of act, and then 'tis thought thou'lt show thy mercy and remorse more strange than is thy strange apparent cruelty. And where thou now exactest the penalty, which is a pound of this poor merchant's flesh, thou wilt not only lose the forfeiture, but, touched with human gentleness and love, forgive, with an eye of pity on his losses that have of late so huddled on his back. We all expect a gentle answer, Jew.
I have possessed your grace of what I propose, and by our holy Sabbath have I sworn to have the due and forfeit of my bond. If you deny it, let the danger light upon your charter and your city's freedom. You'll ask me why I rather choose to have a weight of carrion flesh than to receive 3,000 ducats? I'll not answer that, but say it is my humor. Is it answered? What if my house be troubled with a rat, and I be pleased to give 10,000 ducats to a bane? What, are you answered yet? Now can I give no reason, nor I will not, more than a lodged hate and a certain loathing I bear Antonio. Are you answered?
This is no answer. Thou unfeeling man, to excuse the current of thy cruelty.
I am not bound to please thee with my answers.
Do all men kill the things they do not love?
Hates any man the thing he would not kill?
Every offense is not a hate at first.
What? Wouldst thou have a serpent sting thee twice?
You may as well use question with the wolf why he hath made the ewe bleat for the lamb. Make no more offers, use no further means, but with all brief and plain conveniency, let me have judgment, and the Jew his will.
For thy 3,000 ducats, here is 6.
If every ducat in 6,000 ducats were in 6 parts, and every part a ducat, I would not draw them. I would have my bond.
How shalt thou hope for mercy, rendering none?
What judgment should I dread, doing no wrong? You have among you many a purchased slave, which, like your asses and your dogs and mules, you use in abject and in slavish parts because you bought them. Shall I say to you, let them be free? Marry them to your heirs. Why sweat they under burthens? You will answer, the slaves are ours. So do I answer you. The pound of flesh which I demand of him is dearly bought. 'Tis mine, and I will have it. If you deny me, fie upon your law. There is no force in the decrees of Venice. I stand for judgment. Answer, shall I have it?
Upon my power, I may dismiss this court, unless Bellario, a learned doctor whom I have sent for to determine this, come here today.
Well, good cheer. Antonio, what man courage yet? The Jew shall have my flesh, blood, bones, and all, ere thou shalt lose for me one drop of blood.
I am a tainted wether of the flock. You cannot better be employed, Bassanio, than to live still and write mine epitaph.
Came you from Padua? From Bellario?
From both, my lord. Bellario greets your grace.
Harsh Jew, can no prayers pierce thee?
No, none that thou hast wit enough to make.
Oh, be thou damned, in execrable dog, and for thy life let justice be accused.
This letter from Bellario doth commend a young and learned doctor to our court. Give me your hand. Come you from old Bellario?
I did, my lord.
You are welcome. Take your place. Are you acquainted with the difference that holds this present question in the court?
I am informed thoroughly of the case. Which is the merchant here and which the Jew?
Antonio and old Shylock both stand forth.
Oh, is your name Shylock?
Shylock is my name.
Do you confess the bond?
I do.
Then must the Jew be merciful?
On what compulsion must I? Tell me that.
The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. An earthly power doth then show likest gods when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy. And that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which, if thy follow, the strict court of Venice must needs give sentence against the merchant there.
My deeds upon my head. I crave the law, the penalty and forfeit of my bond.
Is he not able to discharge the money?
Yes, here. I tender it for him in the court, yea, twice the sum. If that will not suffice, I will be bound to pay it 10 times o'er, on forfeit of my hands, my head, my heart. If this will not suffice, it must appear that malice bears down truth. And I beseech you, rest once the law to your authority. To do a great right, do a little wrong, and curb this cruel devil of his will.
It must not be. There's no power in Venice can alter a decree established, will be recorded for a precedent, and many an error by the same example will rush into the state. It cannot be.
A Daniel come to judgment, yea, a Daniel. Oh, wise young judge, how I do honor thee.
I pray you, let me look upon the bond.
Here it is, most reverend doctor, here it is.
Shylock, there's thrice thy money offered here.
An oath? An oath? I have an oath in heaven. Shall I lay perjury upon my soul? No, not for Venice.
Why, this bond is forfeit, and lawfully by this the Jew may claim a pound of flesh to be cut by him off the nearest merchant's heart. Be merciful. Take thrice thy money. Bid me tear the bond.
When it is paid according to the tenor. It doth appear you are a worthy judge. You know the law. Your exposition hath been most sound. I charge you by the law whereof you are a well-deserving pillar. Proceed to judgment. By my soul, I swear there is no power in the tongue of man to alter me. I stay here on my bond.
Most heartily, I do beseech the court to give the judgment.
Why then, thus it is. You must prepare your bosom for his knife.
Oh, noble judge. Oh, excellent young man.
Therefore lay bare your bosom.
Aye, his breast. So says the bond, doth it not, noble judge? Nearest his heart. Those are the very words.
It is so. Are there a balance here to weigh the flesh?
I have them ready.
Have by some surgeon, Shylock, on your charge to stop his wounds lest he do bleed to death?
Is it so nominated in the bond?
It is not so expressed, but what of that? 'Twere good you do so much for charity.
I cannot find it. 'Tis not in the bond.
Oh. You, merchant, have you anything to say?
But little. I am armed and well prepared. Give me your hand, Bassanio. Fare you well. Grieve not that I am fallen to this for you, for herein fortune shows herself more kind than is her custom. It is her use to let the wretched man outlive his wealth. Of such misery doth she cut me off. Commend me to your honourable wife, and tell her the process of Antonio's end. Say how I loved you. Speak me fair in death. And when the tale is told, bid her be judge whether Bassanio had not once a love. Repent not that you shall lose your friend, as he repents not that he pays your debt. But for if the Jew do cut but deep enough, I'll pay it presently with all my heart.
Antonio, I am married to a wife, which is as dear to me as life itself. But life itself, my wife, and all the world are not with me esteemed above thy life. I would lose all. I sacrifice them all here to this devil to deliver you.
Your wife would give you little thanks for that if she were by to hear you make that offer.
I have a wife whom I protest I love. I would she were in heaven so she could entreat some power to change this currish Jew.
'Tis well you offer it behind her back. The wish would make else an unquiet house.
These be the Christian husbands. I have a daughter. Would any of the stock of Barabbas had been her husband rather than a Christian? We trifle time. I pray thee, pursue sentence.
A pound of that same merchant's flesh is thine, the court awards it, and the law doth give it.
Most rightful judge.
And you must cut this flesh from off his breast. The law allows it, and the court awards it.
Most learned judge. A sentence. Come, prepare.
Tarry a little. There is something else. This bond doth give thee here no jot of blood. The words expressly are a pound of flesh. Take then thy bond, take thou thy pound of flesh, but in the cutting of it, if thou dost shed one drop of Christian blood, thy lands and goods are, by the laws of Venice, confiscated unto the state of Venice.
Oh, upright judge, mark Jew, O learned judge.
Is that the law?
Thyself shalt see the act, for as thou urgest justice, be assured thou shalt have justice, more than thou desirest.
Oh, learned judge, mark Jew, a learned judge.
I take this off with it. Pay the bond thrice, and let the Christian go.
Here is the money.
Soft, the Jew shall have all justice. Soft, no haste. He shall have nothing but the penalty.
Oh, Jew, an upright judge, a learned judge.
Therefore prepare thee to cut off the flesh. Shed thou no blood, nor cut thou less nor more, but just a pound of flesh. If thou cuttest more or less than just a pound, be it but so much as it makes it light or heavy in the substance, thou diest, and all thy goods are confiscate.
A second Daniel, a Daniel, Jew.
Why doth the Jew pause? Take thy forfeiture.
Give me my principal and let me go.
I have it ready for thee. Here it is.
Ah, he hath refused it in open court. He shall merely have justice and his bond.
A Daniel, still, I say, a second Daniel. I thank thee, Jew, for teaching me that word.
Shall I not have barely my principal?
Thou shalt have nothing but the forfeiture, to be so taken at thy peril, Jew.
Why then the devil give him good of it. I'll stay no longer question.
Ah, tarry, Jew. The law hath yet another hold on you. It is enacted in the laws of Venice, if it be proved against an alien, that by direct or indirect attempts he seek the life of any citizen, the party against the which he doth contrive shall seize one half his goods, the other half comes to the privy coffer of the state, and the offender's life lies in the mercy of the Duke only against all other voice. In which predicament I say thou standest, for it appears by manifesting proceeding that indirectly and directly too thou hast contrived against the very life of the defendant. Therefore, beg mercy.
But thou shalt see the difference of our spirits. I pardon thee thy life before thou ask it. For half thy wealth, it is Antonio's. The other half comes to the general state, which humbleness may drive unto a fine.
Aye, for the state, not for Antonio.
Nay, take my life and all, pardon not that. You take my house when you do take the prop that doth sustain my house. You take my life when you do take the means whereby I live.
What mercy can you render him, Antonio?
So please, my lord, the Duke and all the court, to quit the fine for 1/2 of his goods. I am content. So he will let me have the other half in use, to render it upon his death unto the gentleman that lately stole his daughter. 2 things provided more, that for this favour he presently become a Christian. The other, that he do record a gift here in the court of all he dies possessed unto his son Lorenzo and his daughter.
He shall do this, or else I do recant the pardon that I late pronounced here.
Art thou contented, Jew? What dost thou say?
I am content.
Clerk, draw a deed of gift.
I pray you give me leave to go from hence. I am not well. Send the deed after me, and I will sign it.
Get thee gone, but do it. Antonio, gratify this gentleman, for in my mind you are much bound to him.
Most worthy gentlemen, I and my friend have by your wisdom been this day acquitted of grievous penalties, in lieu whereof 3,000 ducats. Due unto the Jew, we freely cope your courteous pains withal.
And stand indebted above and over in love and service to you evermore.
He is well paid, and that is well satisfied, and I, delivering you, am satisfied. I pray you, know me when we meet again. I wish you well, and so I take my leave.
Oh, dear sir, of course I must attempt you further. Take some remembrance of us as a tribute, not as a fee. Grant me 2 things, I pray you, not to deny me and to pardon me.
You press me far, and therefore I will yield. Give me your gloves, and I'll wear them for your sake. And for your love, I'll take this ring from you. Oh, do not draw back your hand. I'll take no more, and you, in love, shall not deny me this.
This ring? Oh, good sir, alas, it is a trifle. I will not shame myself to give you this.
I will have nothing else but only this, and now, methinks I have a mind to it.
There's more depends on this than on the value. Only for this, I pray you pardon me.
Ah, I see, sir, you are liberal in offers. You taught me first to beg, and now methinks you teach me how a beggar should be answered.
Good sir, this ring was given me by my wife, and when she put it on, she made me vow that I should neither sell, nor give, nor lose it.
That excuse serves many men to save their gifts. And if your wife be not a mad woman and know how well I deserve the ring, she would not hold out enemy forever for giving it to me.
What?
Well, peace be with you.
My lord Bassanio, let him have the ring.
Oh.
Let his deservings and my love withal be valued against your wife's commandment.
Go, Gratiano. Run and overtake him. Give him the ring, and bring him, if thou canst, unto Antonio's house. Away, make haste.
Inquire the Jew's house out, and give him this deed, and let him sign it. We'll away tonight, and be a day before our husband's home. This deed will be well welcome to Lorenzo.
My lord Bassanio, upon more advice, hath sent you here this ring, and doth entreat your company at dinner.
That cannot be. His ring I do accept most thankfully. I pray you, show my youth old Shylock's house.
That will I do.
Sir, I would speak with you. I'll see if I can get my husband's ring, which I did make him swear to keep forever.
Mayest I warrant.
Come, good sir, will you show me this house?
The moon shines bright. In such a night as this, Troilus, methinks, mounted the Trojan walls and signed his soul toward the Grecian tents where Cressid lay that night.
In such a night did this be fearfully o'ertrip the dew, and saw the lion's shadow wear himself, and ran dismayed away.
In such a night did Jessica steal from the wealthy Jew, and with an unthrift love did run from Venice as far as Belmont.
In such a night did ever young Lorenzo swear he loved her well, stealing her soul with many vows of faith and ne'er a true one.
In such a night did pretty Jessica, like a little shrew, slander her love, and he forgave it her.
I would outnight you did nobody come.
Dear lady, welcome home.
We have been praying for our husbands' healths, which speed we hope did the better for our words. Are they returned?
Madam, they are not yet, but there is come a messenger before to signify their coming.
Go in, Nerissa. Give order to my servants that they take no note at all of us being absent hence. Nor you, Lorenzo. Jessica, nor you.
We are no telltales, madam, fear you not.
Oh, you are most welcome home, my lord.
I thank you, madam. Oh, give welcome to my friend. This is the man. This is Antonio, to whom I am so infinitely bound.
Oh, you should in all sense be much bound to him, for he, as I hear, he is as much bound for you.
No more than I am well acquitted of.
Oh, sir, you are very welcome in our house. You must appear in other ways than words, therefore I scant this breathing courtesy.
Why, under moon, I swear you do me wrong. If it, I gave it to the judge's clerk.
Quarrel? Ho, already? What's the matter?
About a hoop of gold, a paltry ring that she did give me, whose posy was love me and leave me not.
Okay, what talk you of the posy or the value? You swore to me when I did give it you that you would wear it till your hour of death, and that it should lie with you in your grave, though not for me, yet for your vehement oaths. You should have been respective and have kept it. Gave it to a judge's clerk. Oh, no, God's my judge. The clerk will ne'er wear hair on his face that had it.
He will, and if he live to be a man.
Aye, if a woman lived to be a man.
Now, by this hand, I gave it to a youth, a kind of boy, a little scrub boy, no higher than thyself, the judge's clerk, a prating boy that begged it as a fee. I could not for my heart deny him.
You were to blame, I must be plain with you. To part so slightly with your wife's first gift? A thing stuck on with oaths upon your finger, and so riveted with faith unto your flesh. I gave my love a ring, and made him answer never to part with it, and here he stands. I dare be sworn for him he would not leave it, nor pluck it from his finger for the wealth that the world masters. Now, in faith, Gratiano, you give your wife too unkind a cause of grief, and toward me, I should be mad at it.
Why, I were best to cut my left hand off and swear I lost the ring defending it.
My lord Bassanio gave his ring away to the judge and begged it, and indeed deserved it too.
What? The ring I gave you, my lord? Not that I hope for which you received from me.
If I could add a lie unto a fault, I would deny it. But you see my finger, hath not the ring upon it, it is gone.
Oh, even so void is your false heart of truth. By heaven, I will never come into your bed until I see the ring.
Nor I in yours till I again see mine.
Look, sweet Portia, if you did know to whom I gave the ring, if you did know for whom I gave the ring, and would conceive for what I gave the ring, or how unwillingly I left the ring, when naught would be accepted but the ring, you would abate the strength of your displeasure.
If you had known the virtue of the ring, or half her worthiness that gave the ring, or your own honor to contain the ring, you would not have parted with the ring. What man is there so much unreasonable? If you had pleased it to be defended it to the urge that held the ceremony. Nerissa teaches me what to believe. I'll die for it, but some woman has the ring?
No, by my honor, madam, by my soul. No woman had it, but a civil doctor, which did refuse 3,000 ducats of me, and begged the ring, the which I did deny him. In him that did uphold the very life of my dear friend. What should I say? Sweet lady, I was enforced to send it after him. I was beset with shame and courtesy. My honor would not let ingratitude so much besmear it. Pardon me, good lady. Had you been there, I think you would have begged the ring of me to give the worthy doctor.
Let not that doctor e'er come near my house, since he hath got the jewel you swore to keep. I'll not deny him anything I have. No, not my body, nor my husband's bed, lie not a night from home. If I be alone now, by mine honor, which is yet mine own, I'll have that doctor for my bedfellow.
And I his clerk. Therefore be well advised how you do leave me to mine own protection.
I am the unhappy subject of these quarrels.
Sir, grieve you not. You are welcome, notwithstanding.
Portia, forgive me this enforced wrong. Pardon this fault. And by my soul I swear, I never more will break an oath with thee.
I once did lend my body for his wealth, which, but for him that had your husband's ring had quite miscarried, I dare be bound again, my soul upon the forfeit, that your lord will never more break faith advisedly.
Then you shall be his surety. Give him this and bid him keep it better than the other.
Here, Lord Bassanio, swear to keep this ring.
By heaven, this is the same I gave the doctor.
I had it of him. Pardon me, Bassanio, for by this ring the doctor lay with me.
And pardon me, my gentle Gratiano, for that same scrubbed boy, the doctor's clerk, in lieu of this, last night did lie with me.
What are we cuckolds ere we have deserved it?
Speak not so grossly, you are all amazed. Here is a letter from Salerio. There you shall find that Portia was the doctor, Nerissa there her clerk. Lorenzo here shall witness I set forth as soon as you, and even but now returned. Antonio, welcome. And I have better news in store for you than you expect. Unseal this letter soon, and there you shall find 3 of your argosies are richly come to harbor suddenly.
Were you the doctor, and I knew you not?
Were you the clerk that is to make me cuckold?
Aye, but the clerk that never means to do it unless he live to be a man.
Sweet doctor, you shall be my bedfellow. When I am absent, then lie with my wife.
Sweet lady, you have given me life and living, for here I read for certain that my ships are safely come to road.
How now, Lorenzo? My clerk hath some good comforts for you too.
There do I give to you and Jessica, from the rich Jew, a special deed of gift after his death of all he dies possessed of.
Fair ladies, you drop manna in the way of starved people.
It is almost morning, and yet I am sure you are not satisfied of these events at full. Let us go in and charge us thereupon interrogatories, and we will answer all things faithfully.
Let it be so. The first interrogatory that my Nerissa shall be sworn on is, whether till the next night she had rather stay or go to bed now, being 2 hours today. But were the day I come, I should wish it dark that I were couching with the doctor's clerk. Well, while I live, I'll fear no other thing so sore as keeping safe Nerissa's ring.
Yeah. Right on, everybody. Nicely done. Lovely, lovely work. Snapping, clapping, all the things. I got cats meowing in the background. Deal with that. Thank you, artists, for crushing it per usual. Thank you for playing. Thank you, everybody who's tuned in at home or wherever you are. And we're going to jump in with the questions that we asked 3 questions after each of these. So we're going to jump right in, give about 90-ish seconds for the ensemble to answer first, and then take it to the YouTubes and see if people have answers to the questions. So the first one is, what did you learn about the play that you didn't know before today? What did you learn about the play that you didn't know before today? Joel, it looks like you're talking, but you're muted.
I wonder why one does this play. I mean, it's clearly a despicable play, but I don't think that means it shouldn't be performed, because I think to the modern mind, it doesn't work the way it was intended to work. Everybody has so many faults. I mean, there's nobody who comes out unscathed, including Portia, who usually held up as the ideal. But she tells Morocco, "Oh, you'd be the fairest, as fair as any of my suitors." Yet as soon as he leaves, she says, "Thank God I didn't have to marry a man of color." And everyone else comes off so badly that I think the bigotry and the hypocrisy of everyone is highlighted by watching this play. So the despicable nature of it, it's not rewarded in any way. So I think that's the only reason to do it, to hold that mirror up to this kind of behavior.
I wish we had so much more time with this one, because amidst all of that, some of Shylock's speeches are amazing. They're wonderful speeches, and it's like, oh, there are little beautiful moments in this kind of icky circumstance.
I feel like this is one of the few plays, to that point, Joel, it's one of the few plays that the characters are so complicated, and I don't mean that their belief systems are complicated. It's that, for example, Shylock says, "The hate that you teach me, I will show in kind," whatever that is. You can see how a person has been shit on and hurt and abused and sucked it up. He lives on the fringes of society and just been like, to get by, to be successful, to have a family, I got to do this. I got to put up with this. But it's turned him. You can see that it's turned him. And I think that's one of the reasons it's worth doing, because it's like, being the son of immigrants, it's an interesting analysis of the mindset of what it is to be an immigrant and to succeed at any cost, accompanied with this, all of that hatred that you've been internalizing metastasizes.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few plays where I feel like the good guys and the bad guys aren't clear. Like, Shylock is neither, to me, a hero nor villain. He
Absolutely.
is in a lot of respects, but he's neither good nor bad. He's simply...
Well, everybody is mixed in this, I think, without exception. And what struck me for the first time, and I've seen this show a number of times, I've never been in it before, was I started wondering whether Shakespeare wasn't doing it on purpose, whether he wasn't undercutting everybody's statement of their personal morality by showing the other side of it at some point in the play. And it's probably not true, but it seems to me like he was sneaking in all these undercuts of what they were saying about themselves. That made it more interesting for me to listen to today.
That's an interesting point, because at the time of performing it, I don't think that the dress was very kind to Shylock. Like, grotesque imagery and stereotype of Jewish people, like a crook nose and things like that, no doubt was how Shylock was performed. But he has this beautiful text that is so human. It must have been
DB, anything in the YouTube chats?
Got a lot of affirmations of thought, some gratitude. This helps me understand. And Launcelot and Portia also come across harshly in places. There's a statement shared from YouTube. Yeah, a lot of affirmation.
Cool, thank you. We'll jump into question 2, which is, what word, image, or group of words jumped out at you today? What word, image, or group of words? I see Dhruv with the hand raised.
Oh boy, do I have a doozy for y'all. So there's a section that I think Portia says which just caught my whole attention. And as heartbreaking as the trial scene is, she says, "Tarry, Jew, the law hath yet another hold on you. It is enacted in the laws of Venice, if it be proved against an alien, that by direct or indirect attempts he seeks the life of any citizen, the party against the which he doth contrive shall seize one half of his goods. The other half comes to the privy coffer of the state, and the offender's life lies in the mercy of the dukes only against all other voice. In which predicament I say thou standst." Nice word there, alien. I think, I don't think I've ever seen like just a small group of words by Shakespeare apply so much, and everything of Shakespeare can be applied today, but nothing, I think, at least for me, that I've seen in this place has been as relevant as that statement, and that shook me to my core today.
I wrote two things down. One was early on. Someone says, "There's no mean happiness to be seated in the mean," which seems to be, a perfectly reasonable and good statement. But nobody in this play acts that way. Everybody is after as much as they can get. So it's interesting to me that he sneaks that in there and then shows all these people who don't behave that way. And the other one, of course, is in the course of justice, none of us should see salvation. A very, Christian idea of grace coming from God only. But that rang for me today.
Joel, speaking of that line, you latched onto first in the early scene with Nerissa and Portia. Portia says, "I can easier teach 20 what were good to be done than be one of the 20 to follow mine own teaching." And I thought that was super interesting as a character who takes this high road and is so staunch in laying that down on another character and realizing, but wait, where are are you listening? Are you a practicer of these things that you're putting out there? And I think also in a play that's really easy to dump on, where it's like, oh, I see all the faults, and they're there. It's interesting to hear a line like that too. It's like, ooh, am I also looking in a mirror? I can look through this play and I can criticize, but am I going to look back at me also and wonder, okay, how do the lessons reflect? And am I going to be someone who picks them up and carries them around and kind of sits with them for a while too? And I think we are. I think we're doing that right here.
Yeah, I don't think Shakespeare is naive in writing this play. He knows what he's saying. It's as if someone asked him to write a play about how awful Jews are, and he said, "Well, I need the money, but I'm going to sneak in some stuff." That'll be really interesting.
Yeah, I think as much as people don't like this play, like this cut of it was amazing. I thought that, if you're doing the whole thing and it's like full length, then the play should have ended a lot earlier than it does, but it keeps going, and then all of that stuff. But I love how terrible every character seems to be, and like this weird statement of like young lovers are kind of cool, and Shakespeare just throws that in there. But that's just the theory. A Shakespeare theory.
Shylock has this line that I love this play, and I haven't always, but Shylock has one line that I've always found to be, I'm gonna start crying thinking about it, really heartbreaking, when he says, "I had that ring of Leia when I was a bachelor. I wouldn't give it for a wilderness of monkeys." I'm like, that is a play. I want to see that story, which I think Shakespeare does. If you compare it to source material and other plays about Jews, Shylock comes off not nearly like the ogre that a lot of those other characters do, and he gives him that little injection of humanity in Jessica's story and in whoever Leia was. It makes me cry every time I think about it.
Leia was his wife, clearly.
Yeah.
I totally agree that up, because that is something that sticks to the core for me too. That was what I know I was thinking of sharing, and it's so nice to hear other people feeling that vibe from that beautiful little line. Dan, anything in the comments on YouTube?
Yeah. We've got Fast Bind, Fast Find popped. Mislike me not for my complexion. A few people will have thought our house is hell recently. I hope they all have merry devils to lighten things. Simon, after as much as they can get, sounds like my life too, was a thought from the YouTube. Some affirmations of things that people shared. And it's not from YouTube, but one that popped out for me today in terms of quarantine was, "You take my life when you do take the means whereby I live." I heard that today and I was like, whoa, quarantine.
Woof.
I also, can I add as well, the drop of Christian blood, that being, I don't know, the hierarchy of that being said in that way, just like really made, was a terrible thing. And then the request to convert to Christianity, just that little section, all of that stuff around there, just, difficult.
It's not a request, it's a demand, isn't it? That's the thing. It's really terrifying.
Yeah.
Of course, Jews were pretending to be Christians for hundreds of years, especially in Spain, but I'm sure in lots of other countries of Europe too.
It's funny. It's easy to think of this play as an antiquated play. I've been in 2 different productions, and I can count on more than 2 hands the times that happened and somebody cheered in the audience. So it's not untimely still, in a frustrating way.
That's a good segue to why does or doesn't, our third question, why does or doesn't this play matter today?
I had to study this play when I was 16, so a couple of years ago. So it sat with me for a long time. And I think exactly as Josh was saying, there are so many themes in this play where we can quite clearly match the parallels. And with Dhruv pointing out the word of alien and slaves standing out for me today for the first time ever, in a world that's increasingly swinging towards more totalitarianism and less empathy and understanding of people who are different from us, be that via religion or via politics or via race. I can't think of a play that isn't more timely than this one.
Sorry, I talk a lot. I love this play. One of the things that is great about this play that I think makes it important is that it's really easy to watch good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. And it's complicated and hard to stomach when you like bad people and good things happen to them. And Gratiano is probably one of my favorite characters in the canon because he says such horrific things, but he's so lovable and he's so likable. And I think it's so important to make an audience have to make a hard choice about, I really like this character and I really hope bad things happen to him. And they don't. Good things happen to him. And like that kind of brokenness of life, this play just openly accepts in a way that I think a lot of other plays don't, or in a way that we don't allow a lot of other plays to operate.
Yeah, that's a good point for today, bringing up Gratiano, because like one of the lines that is so bad is here's a Gentile and no Jew. It's like, the modern day parlance would be, oh, you're one of the good ones. And like Gratiano seems to be one of those people that it's your cousin, it's your uncle, it's the person at Thanksgiving where we have a responsibility to have that hard conversation and not be like, yeah, all right, I'll see you next year. It falls upon us to have that conversation and not let it slide.
I think I actually, probably up until this week, I have always thought I've always been like, why do we even do this play? It's just awful. And I think actually looking at it, I think that's because I've seen productions where they've shied away from the racism of the white people in the play. And I think actually reading it and playing with it, I think the only way to make this play make sense as to why you would do it is to really make them as awful as they're written. Because I think what I've been confused by before is that I've gone, this is being played as though I'm supposed to like these people, and they're sort of like glossing over these terrible things they're saying and doing. And this guy's being portrayed as a hero when actually he's a piece of, crap. So yeah, I think I'm more interested in it because I think there's a comment there.
I think so many of the plays, especially the comedies, like the humor and the twists of the end unfurl because of events. And in this one, it seems so much more like arbitrary knowledge it emerges. Like there's this, like you get like whomped with exposition, and a lot of that comes in the court scene, like with like bits and pieces of law. And tonight, in getting to sit back and watch that, it was almost like Kafka-esque, seeing Shylock learn about all these things that weren't apparent before, and he's just being cornered by all of these little details that everyone keeps adding into the mix. And so often we rely on institution to be like, oh, the stable thing that's going to protect us, the thing that's going to be there that we can count on. And I think it makes you question, like, what are these laws, and when and why were they established? And so often people say like, hey, well, it's the law, man. Like, come on, like we're all equal before the law. And I think it forces us to ask right now, like, are we equal before the law? And when we see a law that, you know, vouches on behalf of someone who does a heinous thing, and we see it happen so often, we're like, oh, but there's that technicality, but they're supported by that law in that particular state. Then we can't just sit back and be like, well, the law wins, like they played the law card. I think we have to ask questions. How do we push back, and how do we question these institutions, knowing that they weren't founded, you know, they weren't founded this morning. They were established for a purpose, and we see them fulfilling that purpose. And when that's problematized, we have to show up and say, okay, let's take it back and let's repair something because it's broken.
Dan, anything from the YouTube on this question?
Oh yeah, beautiful stuff on YouTube. We must look into ourselves to find our own biases and prejudices and confront them, or we become devils. Thought from Joe Quinn. Definitely is a current play, because now we may think being different is a good thing, and it probably is. But the intolerance to the other, to those who think or act differently, is what divides us. And then a comment, great discussion, making me rethink the play. So big shout to the group. We're gonna pop into the questions from the YouTube and reverse engineer it. There's still room for another question, so if you have one, please pop it in the chat at the moment. But the one to lead us off with, a question from Doug Decker for the group. Is the best lens for this play that it's a caution against tribalism? Is the best lens for this play that it's a caution against tribalism?
I think it may
can
be
we say
one,
that?
but I'm not sure it's the overarching theme. I think it just, as timely as this is, to think that 500 years ago or 400 years ago it was also a thing, makes me wonder whether or not the things we've been talking about, the law, the way we perceive other people, and how you use society, or how society uses stereotypes to reinforce its own superiority. And you know, we have the Shylock character who is perceived to be something, and when he wins, the law is set up, as was said just a moment ago, so that if we find the little nuance, if we find the exception, we can just tear anybody down. I mean, we see that in the news now with people that were convicted of something, and then they find a little something, especially if those people are, or find that what the jury found or what the prosecution found was not relevant. And tribalism is one aspect of that, but also how we continue and continue and continue decade after decade to reinforce this behavior. I mean, I think Shakespeare nailed it when he did it, but it seems as though we haven't learned a thing since then. I think this is an excellent play to do often, and especially for children and young people, so that, and really talk about it so that they can really get a perspective as, well, why are we still talking about this? Why are we still allowing this to happen? I mean, we have the iPhone, but we still have the same perceptions. We're not moving in tandem.
It's also
I also think, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Tosh. I've talked a lot.
So have I. I also think it's interesting that you talk about tribalism, but I think sometimes what people forget is it's not a simple us and them, because people move depending on who's the us and who's the them, as long as the them is never us. Does that make any sense at all? Like, so it's easy to attack one group of people when they're not your people, but then when your people get attacked, it's a different thing. And this constant like cycle of people attacking other people to, I guess, confirm their own humanity, as well as hide their own insecurities or their own fears from being attacked or being othered. So it's protection from being othered by othering other people. That makes much more sense, I think.
I think another easy thing with this play is because of the tenseness and the problematic nature of the kind of the crises of the play with race and religion, is it's easy to forget about performance context and historical context, which I love about Shakespeare, in that at its heart, yes, this play has major issues of race and religion, but at its heart, it's a play about debt. It's about familial debt and financial debt and the debt we owe to society. And all of these characters at some point owe something that they can't pay. And to back to the question about tribalism, it's like, it also asks interesting questions about beyond just, I'm going to treat others poorly. It asks questions of within our circle, how do we deal with debt? How do we deal with what we owe people that we can't measure up? I've run out of words to like complete the thought, but it's somewhere in there.
It really, one of the characters that bothers me the most in this play is Jessica. Because does she owe anything? Well, she has a father who's raised her. All we hear from her is that, home is home. But take all his money and runs away. I mean, come on, what is her excuse?
It's like Lear said about like the thankless child.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's been othered her whole life, and I think it makes sense that she would want to escape that because she's seen what it's done to her family.
Oh yeah, but it still doesn't make it a mature moral choice. She's running it because she doesn't want to be set apart, so she runs to become a Christian and take all the money from her father.
Dan, are there more questions in YouTube?
We've got a final question from YouTube to end on. Comes from Joe Quinn. Is Bassanio worse for giving up the ring, or Portia worse for demanding it?
I think Bassanio is worse, period, and Portia is worse, period.
Fair.
All right. And with that, maybe we continue that debate, hot as it is, in the company pub, which we're going to be heading over to. If you are interested in joining us at the company pub, you can support the artists that you saw here today by becoming a Patreon member, and you can do that at patreon.com/Shakespeare Happy Hours. 3 different levels for you to choose from, whatever works best for you. We'd be so grateful for your support in any way. And if you are at the well or top shelf level, you should have received a link to come on over and join us. I think that wraps us up for today. We're going to be back on Monday for another happy hour. What are we doing? Monty, Dan?
King John!
Woo! Awesome. We hope to see those of you who can join us in the company pub. Those of you who we can't see there, have a wonderful weekend, and we're excited to see all of you on Monday.
And hopping on that, CP, the King John then heads into Richard II, which begins a whole history cycle. So for people who are asking and wanted to bone up on the histories, here they come.
Love it. Right on. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See you soon.